Welcome to becoming the most productive person you know, and I'm excited. This is one thing that I've really been working on the last couple of years, is productivity, how to master it, how to be effective at it, and how to get the most out of what you do. And with an age these days of dramatic distraction, constant interruptions, technology, multitasking, and so many things going on, it's more needed than ever that you're productive in what you do. And I'm going to give you 4 strategies on how to really make sure that you're crushing productivity and you're really getting a lot done. And if somebody's out earning you at a higher level, or they're producing at a higher level, or they're making bigger decisions than you are, they're just putting their whole selves in, and they're just amplifying more of themselves. Okay? Ask yourself if you're all into what you do. Are you all in to what you're doing? Because if you're not all into what you're doing, you're never going to be as productive as you possibly can be. So, frankly, some people are working all the time because they don't actually have the discipline yet to be productive. So, the first thing you got to tell yourself is you're going to be productive instead of working all the time. You're going to be productive instead of working all the time. That's big. So, what is productivity? Well, it's progressing towards and commitment towards your ideal life and your ideal vision. That's what productivity is. And don't mistake busyness for productivity, because you could be busy doing a lot of things, but you need to make sure what you're doing is congruent to the goals that you have, the person you want to become in the future as well. Productivity is not about working all the time. It's about progressing towards your greatest accomplishments, and it feels amazing. And sometimes you want to just be more productive, to have more time with your family and more free time to do what you love, to do hobbies, to travel, things like that. So just sometimes the thought of getting a lot more time with your loved ones and a lot more time to travel and do what you want, just that thought will cause you to become more productive. I'm going to give you these 4 tips, and I think they're really going to make a big dent in your productivity and a big impact, okay? Let's get started with the good stuff. Make sure you take notes, and you don't just take notes, but you actually use them, because I think the most dangerous words in the dictionary is "I already know that." People that say they already know that and think they already know everything are always going to be lagging behind the ones that are hungry for more knowledge and wisdom. So the first thing is get a 1-page productivity plan. A 1-page productivity plan gives you clarity of your goals, and clarity precedes mastery. Clarity is power. 5% of people write their goals down and their priorities down on paper. 95% don't. And they say those 5% that write their goals down make more money than all 95% that don't combined. So you need to make sure you're writing your goals down, and you have a 1-page plan. And the productivity shift I made is shifting from complexity to simplicity. So you need to go from complexity to all these different movements going on and all these things, people pulling at you here, all these activities, all these to-do lists. Simplify everything, chip away all the complexity in a simple 1-page document of what really matters. Get clear on your masterpiece. That's what I want to get across. Get clear on your masterpiece. You'll never hit a target you can't see. And when you're an entrepreneur or a CEO or an athlete or a sales professional, even a student or a parent, you always want to be focusing on the activities and the daily things that are only congruent with who you want to become and your ultimate vision, whether it's the ultimate vision for 6 months or a year or the ultimate vision for your life. Okay? Now, let me give you what's on that 1-page productivity plan. The first thing is a vision statement, a statement of who you want to become, your magnificent obsession statement of what you're going to be all about this year. Okay? And what your company's going to look like, what your brand's going to look like, what your life's going to look like, whatever it is. A mission statement of who you are. That needs to be at the top, okay? Then you're going to write out your 3 values. What that means is, what values mean a lot to you? If you don't have values yet, or you're not understanding what that means, just 3 things that are really important to you. What 3 words are going to describe you this year? Confident, no fear, focused, intelligent, enthusiastic, bold, inspiring, compassionate, caring, strong, whatever it is, think about the words that are going to describe you. So let me just give you an example. Here's mine. It has my mission statement up top. It has what I'm going to tell you next right here. It has my top 3 values and what I'm going to live by this year. This is all that matters. Everything I do is based on these things, what's important to me. Okay? Family, relationships, impact, influence. I want flexibility to do what I want to do so I can impact as much as possible. But the next thing you want on this page is the 5 things that need to happen this year to make your year be exceptional. So the big 5 for the year, whether it's business, personal, family, you mix them all together, the big 5 things that must happen this year. Remember, shift away from complexity into simplicity, okay? After you have that, next you're going to write down a couple of your quotes that mean a lot to you. Now, I want to get real here. Not quotes that just inspire you, real quotes that make you think, real quotes that make you act and inspire you to take bold and intelligent action. You can also ask compelling questions and put those on the page. Am I living my truth? Is what I'm doing daily connected to my dreams and goals? Okay, so write those questions down. Now that you have your vision statement, you have your values that you live by or who you want to be, and now you have your quotes or your questions that inspire you and get you to think, that's all you need. Look at this a couple times a week and make sure you're readjusting your action and readjusting what you're doing to make sure everything's congruent with your top 5 for the year as well, okay? So that's number 1, is a 1-page productivity plan that has everything on there. Number 2, predetermine your outcome, scheduling. This is a big one. Never start your week without it written on paper first, okay? So never start your week without it written on paper first. Your schedule, your planner, your calendar is the reflection of your integrity. Let me say that again. Your calendar is the reflection of your integrity and who you are as a person. Okay? People that just let life go by and have nothing planned and just are reacting throughout the week never get as much done as they can, and they're letting their weeks run them versus them running their weeks. And the only way to be productive is running your weeks how you know you should be running them based on your goals and your ultimate vision for you, your family, your company, and your success. Now, deciding what's important before the week starts is a very big key to making sure that it gets done throughout the week. And what this does is, when you're planning your week, you're in an intelligent state of mind, right? So throughout the week, when you come to your schedule and you go, I need to do this, I need to make this phone call, you don't question it, and you don't base things off emotion throughout the week. You base things off the intelligence you had when you actually made that plan, okay? This gives you clarity and focus for your days throughout the week because you already decided to do it. And something that's common in all successful people is what they get scheduled, they get done. So something you need to write down or tell yourself is whatever you get scheduled, you get done. Period. Regardless of how you feel, regardless of your mood, regardless of other people, what gets scheduled gets done. If you just took that away from this, you'd be more productive than most people, all right? So remember, your calendar and schedule is a reflection of your integrity. So have integrity and intelligence when you plan your schedule out, okay? Build your days and build your week around your goals and priorities, not other people's goals and priorities. And ask yourself, how large are your intentions each day? Your intentions each day should give you something magnificent and should be very big in terms of what you want to accomplish. Set intentions that inspire you each day. So don't let another week go by where you aren't making progress towards your big 5 that you're going to write down on your magnificent 1-page productivity plan. Okay, so let me give you some productivity questions that I ask myself throughout the week to make sure I'm planning my week in an intelligent and productive way. First one is result rituals. So what must happen to keep results going forward? So for me in my business, when I'm out of town, I'm at a meeting, or I'm not physically in my office, I always have the productivity rituals in my office set up and scheduled so things happen. So results must be created in your success or business or life, whether you feel like it or not. So what result rituals you need to have throughout the week to make sure you're still progressing forwards? Next is, what important conversations do you need to have to elevate your standards and to elevate your game? Because the better and more productive conversations you have, the more productive you will be. You will raise the standards of how you respect your time. I had a conversation with Gary Vaynerchuk yesterday for about 35-40 minutes. You might not know who he is. Super powerful, very big in the business world. Built an $80 million wine business, and was on Piers Morgan last week. Just a great guy. Just talking to him, hearing how he respects his time, and just hearing his schedule of what he does, just raised my standards, and it caused me to want to get even more productive and want to get more done. So when you start playing the game with people that are playing the game at a higher level than you, when you start talking with them, associating with them, it raises your standards. And when you raise your standards of how much your time is worth, you take better action and more intelligent action. Okay? Next, what are you going to create this week? Remember, the root word of productivity is produce. What are you going to produce and create this week? Whether it's a blog, a video, an article, a book, whatever. What are you going to produce? Lastly is, what is 3 things you must accomplish to move closer towards your goals? What are 3 things you're going to do that help you get closer to those big 5? Because what happens if you don't think about your big 5, or you don't look at your productivity plan, and let's say a couple weeks go by, let's say you don't look at this. What happens is you start reacting and doing things other people want you to do versus what really matters to you and your priorities and your goals and your family and your business. And you start doing other things that have nothing to do with building your future. And that's where you get caught up. Productive people always have intention in everything they do. So schedule your weeks properly, based off intelligence, based off your productivity plan, not based off current emotion, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a part 2, and I'm gonna go through number 3 and 4. Number 3 is a big one, but number 4 is the game changer that's gonna help. I'm gonna show a quick video clip of my friend Eric Thomas giving a magnificent message on what I wanna get across in the second video. So the first video was my first 2 tips, which are make sure that you get a 1-page productivity plan, and number 2 is make sure you're scheduling your days and weeks ahead of you before you actually start your weeks, okay? So we'll get you on the next video.